Hey guys, it's Melissa here from melissaoatman.com. Welcome to Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness, a daily podcast devoted to spirituality and self-help. If you're new, I want to welcome you. If you're returning, welcome back. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about not biting off more than you can chew, which is something that I have been doing recently, and the universe was trying to get my attention in a major way. And after I had this aha moment of, I've done this to myself, I decided I wanted to do a podcast episode about it because some of you may be going through the same thing, and I'm going to be using my own story as an example to show you what not to do. So as most of you know, I just recently switched to a new job. So with that comes a lot of different things that I have to do, like paperwork, switching all of my stuff from one classroom to another. On top of that, I am leaving tomorrow for a trip to Europe with 65 people total. So we have many students, we have a few parent chaperones, but so far I have been the only one to organize all of the stuff from behind the scenes. Now we have a travel company, they took care of hotels and flights and all of that. But I had to organize the rooming list, the bus list. We also did an optional excursion to Disneyland Paris, and I had to buy the tickets, and it's been overwhelming for me. On top of that, the new job that I just recently got, their top of the pay scale is Masters plus 32. At my old school, it was Masters plus 30. So that means I had Masters plus 30, but I was 2 graduate credit hours shy of being at the top of the pay scale. And they said, well, you can take a class this summer and then we'll, put you at the top. So I could take a class through this trip for a pretty reasonable price. And the class load, when you consider what you normally have to do for a graduate class, really isn't that much either. So I said, okay, I'll do that. You know how it is when you sign up for things months beforehand, you think this is going to be easy. It's like you have rose-colored glasses on and you do everything thinking, I can handle this. I used to do that to myself in college all the time. I would take classes and be like, I can handle this load. And then when it actually came time to do the work, I was like, why did I do this to myself? And that's kind of the feeling I was having yesterday. Because I've been trying to deal with Disney, and because there's a 7-hour time difference, it's been really difficult getting a hold of a human person to talk to because they're 7 hours ahead. So by the time I get up and want to call, they're already closing for the day, the office. And I've been emailing, but they haven't been returning my emails. And I was yesterday super panicked. And I have to give a shout out to 2 of my listeners because they both sent me the sweetest messages like, are you okay? I can hear that you're stressed. So to Jay and to Ginger, thank you both for being concerned and caring and asking me if I was okay and wishing me luck on the trip and saying you're praying for me because I needed it yesterday. Yesterday, I had about reached the breaking point. I was starting to forget that lesson that I keep telling you all the time, which is to breathe and not to allow things to steal my personal power and for me to react emotionally to things. Yesterday, I definitely fell down a few times, and I had to get back up, wipe myself off, and decide that I needed to start over. And really a big thanks to Jay because he posted something on Facebook that kind of shook me up a little and knocked me back to reality, like, hey, you're letting this get the best of you and you need to just relax and stop being anxious and just realize it's going to work out. And when I stopped and did that, everything did fall into place. I stopped. When he sent me that message, I just stopped and I just said a small prayer to my team. I said, angels, guides, everyone, whoever's listening and can help, please allow me to get the Disney contract by tomorrow. Allow me to talk to someone who can help me so I can pay for the tickets and have everything. And first thing this morning when I woke up, and I had set an alarm to wake up early to try to get a hold of someone, the contract was in my inbox. Now, you're supposed to be able to pay online, and I couldn't get the link to work. It said it was unavailable, so I had to call, so it was a good thing I got up. And I spoke to someone who was extremely nice, And she said, oh, yes, our website is down. So she took the payment over the phone, and we got everything taken care of and squared away, like just in the nick of time, like the day before we're leaving. So that was a big thing that was of anxiety and worry to me. And on top of that, having 65 people, I've had meetings with parents, and I have sent out a slideshow with all the information they need. It's had a packing list, if you're on this flight, what time and where to meet at the airport, all kinds of things. And I have had parents emailing me questions that I've already answered in the slideshow and I've already answered in other emails. But you know how it is for people, it's easier just to reach out and say, hey, give me this information now while I'm asking you and thinking about it, rather than going back and actually reading the information I've already given them, which would be fine, except if you have 65 people and 20 people a day are emailing you, which is about what it's been for me, plus we're dealing with the Disney stuff, so some people have had to pay me money for their tickets. It's been crazy. And I've just had parents, and I literally, yesterday I was getting so frustrated, and my brother said, just send out another email and say, please check this first before you email me. So I did that. And then I got a response from a parent who was one who had been emailing me of, I'm sorry, but I'm probably going to email you a dozen more questions. I just wanted to, take her and shake her and say, look, stop. Like, you're being ridiculous. All the questions you're asking are in this slideshow, and you're making my work harder. So that was one of the things that was frustrating me too. And even the people around me, like, they were just laughing because they're like, what are these parents thinking? Like, why are they doing that? And, as an educator, I was like, okay, in my classroom, I say, if I've already instructed you, ask a friend first, then go to the instructions. Then if you still don't know, then you can ask me. And that saves a lot of getting asked questions that they should already know the answer to. So thinking about the classroom, that's when I put together that email. And then I still got an email back from one parent, but some other parents just emailed me thanking me and saying, well, we're praying for your sanity. Like, we understand people don't read their emails. And that was the point, was, people not doing their job was making my job harder. But a couple of epiphanies came to me out of that. And one was, number one, I needed to set boundaries with the parents and say, look, you need to do your part before you start making my work harder. Like, go check things out yourself. And then if you still have questions, I'm happy to answer them. But if there are places I've already answered them, please don't email me first. Go find it in this, and even send another copy of the slideshow. Here it is, got all of the information. And then, so I had to set that healthy boundary with people not bugging me to the point that I just was about to lose it, because I had so many emails that were really just, I hate to say stupid emails, but they really were, because it's questions that I'd already answered like 50 times. They weren't stupid emails, they were lazy emails. That's what I will call them, because if you already have the answer there, you can easily go back and find it rather than emailing someone the same question. So I was dealing with that. So I knew I had to set a healthy boundary there. And then on top of that, I was allowing these little things that I didn't have control over. I couldn't control whether or not Disney emailed me back or called me, or I really had no control over it. That's not on my end. I was doing my part and they weren't answering. But I was letting it really get to me. And when I saw Jay's post of just, I told my friend, relax and, stop being anxious about it. And I'm like, okay, that was definitely a God wink from the universe saying, hey, quit it. You're just stressing yourself out for nothing. Like, you can't control what they do. So I just took a breath and I just said, here, I need help, and this is what I need help with. Thank you, team, for handling it. And then I just went on with my evening. And so after doing those few things, I realized, that I have done what I can do, and whatever works out, works out. And then this morning, first thing, there it was. I was like, all right, thank you, universe. Thank you for having my back. I knew you did, but I doubted. I let fear creep in, and I let myself get emotional and anxious, and for no reason, because I knew you had my back all along. And sometimes I think it's a test of, are we learning? Did you get that lesson yet? And obviously I'm still learning, still sometimes have to get that lesson, but it's getting better, because the old me, that would have taken days there where I would have been, panicked, and it was just an afternoon. And it quickly turned around. I ended up going to have dinner with my family, and we just laughed about the whole thing. And they're like, wow, you're really patient. And we were laughing about some of the emails that I got. And my mom, who's a teacher, she said, I can't imagine having to deal with that. That would drive me crazy. I'm like, yeah, you wouldn't have dealt with it. And so we just sort of laughed about it. But also then I got home and I had a message from Ginger, one of my listeners, who was the sweetest message and made me feel so much better. So I want to thank both of those people, Jay and Ginger, for Jay for snapping me back into reality of doing what I know I should have been doing all along, and Ginger also for the sweet message that brightened my evening and made it better, and the funny post she had on Facebook too with the flight attendant, because that also made my night, because I laughed. And that's really what I needed to do, is to stop being so serious, to stop taking myself so seriously, and to realize that, I can't control every single thing in life. And it's difficult when you have a big project, because you want to take control. You want to be that person that's responsible. But at the same time, I did my part, and then I knew I just had to give it up and let go and see what the universe had. And honestly, there have already been so many things the universe has done when it comes to this trip. For one thing, we had a hotel change in Barcelona, and now we're at a super cool hotel with an awesome pool and hot tub on the beach, which is amazing. We were going to be going into Munich when they were having a heat wave. Just like a week ago, it was 110 degrees in Paris, and now when we go, it's only going to be in the low 80s, and in Munich, it's only going to be in the low 70s. So the universe is already having my back, and things are already in play, and I have already said so many prayers and blessings over this trip, and I know now, like, I need to just let go and let God and give up the control and know that I've done what I need to do, and that it's all going to work out, and it's going to be a beautiful trip. This is such a blessing to be able to do this, to take my family, my kids, my sister, my brother, my friend. I mean, just so many awesome things about this whole trip. And one of the cards that I pulled for you today, I mean, you can't make this stuff up. You really cannot, because the universe is speaking to us always through all things. And I wanted to pull a card for you today, and the card I pulled was from the Crazy Sexy Love Notes deck by Chris Carr, and it's Notice the Blessings. And as I'm sitting here talking to you, I'm talking to you about how many blessings I already have with this trip, and here my card is Notice the Blessings. And that's what I want to tell you. First of all, I just want to tell you that you don't have to say yes to everything. You don't have to bite off more than you can chew. But it happens. It happens. Sometimes we find ourselves in a situation where we've done that. And unfortunately, when you're already in that situation where you've already realized you've bitten off more than you can chew and you can't give up some of the stuff you've already agreed to, this is what you need to do. Number one, stop and take a breath. Just breathe deeply. And say, okay, I'm not going to allow what's going on around me to affect my mood, to rob me of my personal power, of my peace. Like, I'm going to give up the anxiety and the fear and the worry, because I know the universe has my back. I know the universe has my back. Just keep saying that. And notice the blessings that are within you. Like, maybe things are crazy and hectic, but what are the blessings you're seeing because of it? And then where you can, give up some control and power, or where you can ask people to come in and help, do it. Do it. Because at the end, my family's like, well, what have you needed help with? We would help you. And I was like, I don't know. I didn't know what to ask for help with. And then at the end, they were like, I'll do this. I'm going to do this. And so they all stepped in and were like trying to help me. And I was trying to be like the Atlas guy, holding the world on my shoulders and not asking anyone for help. And at the end, I had so many people coming in going, what can I do? And it was amazing, and it was great, and it really helped. Heather Doran, I have to give her a huge shout out. She is going to be doing some podcasts for you over the next 2 weeks to help me out. So I did not have to just list all reruns or not have anything, because I told her, we were talking about it, and she said, why do you do this daily? that would be so hard to have a daily podcast. Most people only do weekly. And I said, well, because when I was driving an hour each way to and from work, I needed motivation. I needed somebody to help me make that drive not seem so long and not so bad, and a way to make my day better. And I found Julia Treat's podcast whenever I did that. And she had a daily podcast. I'm not even sure if it's weekly at this point, but she does still release podcasts, but it's not as much and not as often. And when she started going down to the weekly, and you have to do what feels right for you. And I don't know that in the future that weekly might not be too much for me. I'm going to still try. Like I want to still try, because I know how much it helped me in my day to be motivated by someone, and to have someone telling me in my ear, as Ginger says, you're in my ear telling me what I need to hear. So I needed people like that too. And I understand. So that's why I've done the podcast every day and weekly, and that's the motivation for me. So for her to step in and do that so that you don't have to just listen to repeats, that's been amazing. So grateful to her. So huge shout out to Heather. And I hope you guys will show her some love. And I want to thank you for always listening to and giving me a reason to be here every day. But if you're finding yourself in that situation, biting off more than you can chew, number one, you have to have people you can go and talk to. And, that's what I did. I was venting yesterday like nobody's business, like anyone who would listen. And that's not normally who I am. But it definitely helped yesterday. And the people stepping up and saying, I can help, I can do this, I can do that. And, we don't always have people who will step up and say they can help, but they would help if we asked. So if you find yourself in that situation, don't be afraid to advocate for yourself and to step up and say, hey, can you help me? Can you do this? My plate is so full. Because people are so ready and willing to do that. And that's amazing. Like, we all need people like that in our lives. So don't be afraid to do that. And people, you'll be amazed at how they step up and show up for you. But yeah, just having that day yesterday and waking up today is such a different day. It's like everything is just falling into place. I'm so happy and thankful. And again, it was because I had people who reminded me, this is who you are. Why are you letting this get to you? And you know what? It was absolutely the truth, and I needed to hear it. So I really, really appreciate those people who stepped up and not only just giving me advice, but saying, we're praying for you, we're sending you positive vibes. Like, I can feel that. And I really appreciate that. I love that. I send love out to each and every one of you every day. And I appreciate the love that I get back, because I can definitely feel it. And I can tell that you guys do that for me. And I sincerely appreciate that. This is going to be an awesome trip, and I am going to miss all of you. But I'm so thankful for this opportunity and seeing all the blessings that are around me. And so getting back to that, your card for the day was notice the blessings. And it has butterflies all over it, which is also a huge God wink for me, because I know I'm still in this transformation process. But it says gratitude puts us in a position of having instead of wanting, thanking rather than complaining. When we focus on what we already have and take stock of our blessings, we get more blessings. What are you grateful for? Share it with yourself and others. And I love that, because it's exactly what happened to me yesterday. I was complaining, and woe is me. I was the victim yesterday, playing a huge victim. And then I saw the post by Jay, and it just kind of snapped me back to reality of, what are you doing? Like, you're allowing this to get to you when really there's nothing you can do about it right now. So just take a breath and stop. And that's what I did, and put the, just had a really big heart-to-heart conversation with my entire spiritual team of like, hey guys, I need you on this one, because I'm not getting anywhere, and it's getting really close to time, and this is what has to have done. And I was very specific about it, like, this is what I need to have done. And in the morning, it was done. So our team will step in and help if we ask. But when we sit there and complain, it's like we complain thinking that they know exactly what we need, when they don't. Instead of complaining, take a moment, take a breath, thank the universe, thank our team for helping us, and then share what it is that you need. What is it that you need from your team? Because they're more than willing to help you. So just something to think about. And remember, you can always stop your habit of biting off more than you can chew by saying no. No is not a bad word. When you say no to others, you're saying yes to yourself, and you deserve to live your best life. So telling everyone yes is not going to be living your best life. You're going to be burnt out. You've got to take care of yourself. So if you find yourself in a situation where you're feeling burnt out or overwhelmed, stop, take a deep breath, let the fear, anxiety, and worry go, because it's not helping you. It's just stressing you. Ask your team for exactly what you need for help. And if there are those around you physically in the 3D who can help you, ask them to help. Delegate. Give some of it away to others to help you. Let go of the control of how it comes back to you. If you're asking others for help, we can't be nitpicky about how they help us. And don't worry about it. It's all going to work out. Well, guys, I want to thank you for listening. If you like this podcast, please subscribe. That helps others find me. And if you could leave a review or feedback on whatever platform you're listening from, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Podbean, I would appreciate it. So far, I'm only able to really see the reviews on iTunes and Podbean, but there's so many nice reviews and people have said so many kind things. I want to thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that, and I'm sending you love for that. If you want to work with me, you can check out my website for what I offer. I will not be able to do any sessions until after July 24th. But if you want to work with me, you can email me. You can still text me and email me while I'm gone. I'm going to have unlimited data. So if you have a question or something, you can always still text me. But I hope that you have a beautiful, beautiful 2 weeks. And I will see you when I get back. And just hopefully having so many great memories that I can't wait to share with you all. So I'm sending you massive love and light. Take care, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.